So, the thought for right now is actually something a little bit different, I think, than what I've usually been up to. As you can see, this is probably reflecting light horribly, but it's because it's exactly where it was about 6 days ago when it was game night. I have not yet tidied up and put away all of my things from the previous game, and tomorrow's game night, and yet I'm gonna put it away. But the idea is, right, is that it's good to start fresh, and I seem to do a different sort of layout of my caboodle every time that game night comes around. And really, I have a deceptive amount of clutter behind this screen, and some things that I want to put in some places. So I just thought it would be a useful little meditation on the paraphernalia of Dungeons and Dragons, and also just the extra time that you know, is hidden away from the actual gameplay, aside from the prep, right? Because like we all know that prep time is a very hungry black hole if you let it be. But I think sometimes we forget like what happens when everybody else leaves, and the DM has a screen with who knows what behind it, and that's the world we live in. So I'm going to do something fun and just not only chat to you about the various things I find behind here and my tidying up situation, but also I'm just going to play a little something so it's not awkward and quiet and horrible, and I should probably go the other way around to the table. I'm going to do a lot of walking around, which is probably going to do a complete murder to my audio, but really, I don't care. There's a very important thing to take into account. So, you know, first things first, I think it's very helpful to actually see behind the screen, though I actually do want to alter the screen a little bit, so I have to move it anyway. Because I set up this little player ref, which is really cool and all, except now I have to tweak it because one of the characters died. This is a thing that happens occasionally. Also, I misspelled one of the characters' names, so I just whiteboarded it onto the... I actually, even though you can write on this stuff with erasable markers and what have you, I actually just have some sheets of, like, once upon a time you would have called it OHP paper, but just, like, the transparency stuff. I managed to salvage it from the local school when we were cleaning out a room, and it was like, does anybody want this OHP paper? And I'm like, me! The rest is history, so yes, rest in peace, Gondor. So I should do that. Easy. Also, Valia is Absento. Do I have the character sheet for the new guy? Actually, I should position it after. Rest in peace, Gondor. Scrubby. This is the best eraser, this tiny funny little thing. This actual marker is terrible. I used this one, but this one's the best. I don't know why. It's the worst possible marker with the best eraser. This is the world we live in. Just gonna move these little clippy things. Oh, it's really funny when you take the just numbers. Where are my notes at? Okay. So the same sticky notes are on this little scratch pad here. Very helpful thing. Get yourself a scratch pad. They're great. I'll talk about that more probably later. Because I talk about everything, and I'm a great lover of stationery, so... Okay, Xylotone's still in. Valia is kind of out, but like not really, so it can stay there. CS Gondor. Drow Paladin. I'm just gonna attach these to the... somewhere. Just from there. Yes, where's my pen at? This is the other thing that happens. You just lose track of literally everything. Pen. Actually, why am I doing that? The other one's in black. Which I think was... See, this is the reality. Stuff is everywhere. None of it where it should be. I'm gonna use this one, probably. It's a bit hardcore, but... That's what I did for the other ones. Okay. So, our new dude. Off this pre-gen. Which we'll tweak as we go anyways, but we'll do for now. So we have a High Elf Wizard. On the blue one. This marker is a aggressive mofo, but man does it come out good. Just curve these a little bit so they flick up like mad. Now, and we have the new name, Ilios. Which I thought had an H when they were trying to pronounce it to me. Spelling is the hilarious bit, not the pronunciation. It's always the spelling. Helps to have the characters' names somewhere because, trust me, I lose track of that. It's a thing that happens, you just have a lot going on. Man, does it make a difference when instead of saying, Bob, it's your turn, you say, Thanatos, it's your turn. I don't know why Bob created a character named Thanatos, but he did, apparently. Who's Bob? I don't know. Just try and slip that back in there. Watch this goes horribly awry. Look at my hands shake. It's too hot in here. The very serene music in the background, I'm just like, stressing. Should almost like move that over just so it kind of sits like the others. Nice big blue stripe. I like the color code. The players don't get to pick per se their colors because it's about making sure my brain works. They can use whatever colors they like. Also, I have a limited palette, so somebody would be unhappy either way if they got to pick. I doubt that our Wood Elf Ranger thinks of his character as being the one with the white sticky notes. But one of them has to be. There was 4 of them, so it was just process of elimination. So yes, we'll pin our sheet back on here. And my clips. These things are the best. These little tiny ball clips, like they're just enough to actually clip it without like any other big giant massive clip. Check one there. Big massive clips are great when that's what you want, but when that's not what you want, it's not great. This is how the world works. Look at me. I'm a fount of wisdom, knowledge, logic. Okay, sweet. So I'll just fold these down. Oops. That's not what I wanted. No! This is why you have to... The other side was heavy enough, but no. This side, gonna crush the... And now we resume with part 2. Didn't think I'd be the sort of person who'd be doing parts, but for this sort of very casual palaver, it's appropriate. It works out. You know, like, for some stuff it's gonna be all in one go, but this is very, very casual, so we're not gonna worry about it. Because worrying about stuff is really bad. And we do too much of it as humans a lot of the time. So that's done. Task numero uno. We shall put it in the meantime up here, because it usually stacks on top of things. Okay. So there's lots of bits of paper, which is a disaster waiting to happen. Oh, I didn't put the quickly write some stats up here. HP 7. You went from being quite squishy to very squishy. Class. I don't know. So one, sweet. Okay. Pin. There. Because we're just hanging out. Heck, I could have done this as a stream if I was prepared to move my laptop, but I'm not, so that doesn't matter. I have stencils on the table because I'm also a stationery fiend. These bad boys. You know. Good old map. I found a giant ritter. Look how huge that is. Very big. Okay. This folder here, where I kind of keep everything. I had the moment where I had to say, pass me your character sheet. So I was going to keep it for ref. For doing of nefarious DM things. That's the thing I did. I don't know where I put it. Somewhere. It's been a rough week. It's been a rough week. After this, I really need to look up what I'm doing for tomorrow, because it's not homebrew, and it's not this. It's something that was requested, so I need to get my ish together. It's gonna be a very sloppy version of whatever it is that the person was wanting. But you know, it's something we do for fun. Say again, stressing too much is bad for you. I think we can all agree on that. It's all folded and shouldered. Is that a saying? It is now. Slide it on right here. I think I put it in there. Just gonna check something. Yep. There's the deceased. We'll put that away for a while. Which we will come back to in a month's time. This is what month on, month off situation. Actually, I'll grab this little mini and I'll put them in with the deceased character sheet. Oops, I'm wrecking that. It's a cheap folder, not my important fancy books and stuff, so I don't put it in. Not at all. And there, it's just an extra little bit cozy thanks to the addition of Xanathar's Guide. Courtesy of my friendos, because they're rad. My Player's Handbook. Copy. Dust that off. Back in the show if you will. Yeah. Why don't I have the Dungeon Masters come with me? Actually, let's have it. And have it so that... See, I'm coming up with bright ideas, because what I need most is the monster manual. But the monster manual, the slightly different way, so it's all red at the end. So it's going to be like, that one! Grab out the red one. Know which one it is. Instead of getting confused. Let's put this marker away. Things everywhere. I think I'll need these for anything. Right. I need to put a bag in that bin. Da, 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 da. Nice listening to the crickets as I do things that are exceptionally boring. Sass is real. This is a monster of a pencil case over here that you can hear me getting into. Can you see it? Nope. Okay. Pair of sunglasses, that's irrelevant. Wish I can move these. Play a dice I'm hanging on to. And also this fun little box which has, yep, it's got a card in there. You don't remember that that's in there. And so he always has a pencil. This is the thing I gave him, of course. Decorated it just to be cool. I was playing a dwarf artificer at the time, so dwarvish tinker's tools. The old game book. And a new game book. My mum got very interested looking at because it was out. She's hilarious. Look at that, I was going to schedule when I was going to do things. Look at all my stuff that I thought I was going to do when I had energy. And I didn't have energy and I was like, turns out I'm not doing that. Let's get out the fancy dice box. Super rad. Real luxuriant kind of purchase. Which you have to make occasionally as a hobbyist. You have to do this and you have to say, this is a stupid thing to spend my money on. But I love it, so I'm going to do it anyway. This lovely little insert in here. So you can look super hardcore. And this would be great for storing like cards if I was a player, but I use it for all manner of other things because I'm not. Can I fit this in here? Did I fit this in here? The amount of stuff where I just can't remember what the heck I was doing before. At least I should be writing for this time. Actually, I was putting this over here. Actually, I'll add them up as well, just because it's the best already there. Okay. Hello, Mr. Skull. I have a skull with gold coins in it, which is fun. Put these dice things into the, what is otherwise the snack basket. Bag of chips in there. I despite all this mess, right, I do actually have it fairly well put together in this basically this one shelf and sometimes stuff on the chair. Just to say, pretty well always stuff on the chair. But it's a good time. And music's kind of silent, which means that this video is getting really long, so we might be going for part 3 as well. How's that for a hangout? We're going to be like real broskies by the time anybody gets through any of this, if anybody cares. Though, I think it is important to note that, like, there's nothing wrong with just, like, whacking on something chill and, like, doing your sort out. Like, I need to do DM stuff, and I just want it to not be quiet and awkward and uninspired as I do the otherwise tedious parts, so that we can have fun. So yeah, this is our life. Actually, no, I'll leave it going for another minute or so. These need to be folded. And under these, put them in, I think it's a green one. Put them in the green one. Really do need to look stuff up, come up with a plan for tomorrow, but you gotta have yourself in order first. Like, if you have bits of paper everywhere, you know, like, what sort of preparation is that? By the way, lots of these bits of paper, of course, are printouts of Runehammer pieces of artwork, which I really enjoy. It's not for everyone because it's, you know, monochrome, black and white situation, but I think it's really evocative, and it also means that you can then draw something next to it when you suddenly have need of something, and it won't look horrendously bad. We all have to feel good about ourselves sometimes. Just because, you know, like, of course you don't have time to color anything, so you always do it in black and white. So black and white together, even though his art's better than mine, but boo! Again, borrowing too much is bad for you. Part 3! Part 3! Like, can you believe it's taken me like 20 minutes to clear away this? Well, it's less than 20, but because I think the batteries ran out, so I swapped out for some new batteries. Which I shouldn't have had to swap out batteries, but this is what happens sometimes, you know? You think the batteries are charged, and they say that they're charged, and you had them in the charger, and then drink some water, Jess. Have some chill. It is, as they say, too hot. And by they, I mean me. I say that. Stash away my Forest Dangers 17 and 18. Which, by the way, when it comes to these sort of doodads, Pathfinder situation, even though I'm not a Pathfinder know-how person. It's an inch grid. It's the same-ish. You know, like what's brand loyalty? Anyways, Paizo. I think Paizo. Yeah, good publisher. You know, like if they make neat stuff, I'm gonna enjoy their stuff. You know, like it's not big or deep. Except you know, like it would be neat. I think to have you know like a little bit of marking of like which pack they came from and like what have you. I put it on myself. I went through with a Sharpie and just like named and numbered them just so that like the different packs I wouldn't get confused. Because it means then you can look on the outside of the box and be like, I want trees to be on fire. You can be like, I want this specific trees on fire, and then you can find it instead of it just being lost amongst. So you look through 18 things instead of through like 30, 50 things. You know, like it's made it a lot easier on ourselves. You know, love these because they're not big, and they do actually like erase pretty well. Like I have whiteboards that perform worse than these. You know, like in terms of erasing. But this is the world we live in sometimes. You know. Fat stack of this. Yeah, this is stuff I'm not necessarily going to use. So I can go back underneath. Oh, loose goose. Man, cutting that stuff out was a bit tedious because I was in there with the scissors rather than... It would have been great if I had a guillotine, but I don't have a guillotine, so... But again, you just put on a good podcast or somebody chatting and you just sit there and you cut pieces of paper until the end of time. Welcome to the end of time. What am I thinking? I'm thinking I've got little goblin stuff everywhere. These bad boys are all categorized or whatever. Loosely categorized. Because we all know everything changes on the fly anyway, so yeah, that's all my tower stuff. Actually, these can go on the other stack. Because in between time skips, I'm going to have the dinosaurs go extinct. How fun is that? That's a thing you can do in this game when you homebrew. Like, this is why I laugh whenever anybody's like, you know, why would you want to homebrew? And it's like, because you can just do anything. Anything. Just whatever you want. You can do that. Instead of going to be like, do I have to explain this? No. You don't have to explain anything. You don't have to justify yourself. Gather up some gerblins. Actually, I should pack up everything else first and then find all the gerblins, because they're all tiny. And then we'll hopefully all, whatever. Mysterious NPC can be added to the pile. Don't really think, yeah, I can add that to my terrain stuff. Don't think I needed that. Don't think I needed all of it. Actually, if I sort of keep some of these for, because I introduced dwarves as well, so I can be like, there's another of those. Just whack those two to the. I can go in the general pile. Yeah. General pile, the soft pile. Very important thing to have piles for things that don't have piles. I'll keep that because it's a recurring cutie. All slimes. I love, like, I talked about this before, I love little, like, slime creatures and stuff. Because, like, you know, sometimes you just want to encounter something that squeaks at you and you go, oh, that's so cute! And it's just fun and weird. I'm a whimsical DM. Which I think is an important thing to have because it means that all the possibilities are open. instead of having to try and come up with like quote unquote good and serious ideas. That like sometimes nonsense is okay. You know, like if you completely exclude nonsense as an option, it's kind of limiting. You know, like you have to then come up with this stoicism. And when the stoicism is blank, you can't just lean on, haha, let's do something wacky. Yeah, when you don't have that option, you know, it's a scary, scary thing. Coming up with ideas. The blank page is the enemy of all. It's not inspiring. You know, like, pulling things from the ether is the hardest creative act. Which is why it's often, you know, quite difficult to come up with ideas when you're sitting here like this, as opposed to when you are, you know, like playing the game. That's my rock falls, everybody dies. Except nobody died, except for Gondor. He died not by falling rocks, so yay! This is I will stash into. My island stuff. Yep, out in the waves. So I had established that dwarf island situation. Yeah, island dwarfs. How's that for some world building? Take that! Is that a serious idea? No. Just like, oh, well, I want this to be dwarves doing a thing. And where are they? But they're not here, so where are they? And it's like, well, I have an island out there, so they're out there on the island doing dwarf things on an island somewhere. What a fun way to live. Now I can add to there, actually. And then it's all pinned up instead of all loose and just waiting for the breeze to blow it all away. Go watch that breeze when you have a whole lot of lightweight paper as part of your situation. Also managed to get all the stuff off that chair, because that was the other fun part, like there was stuff on the chair. As opposed to just being on the table. Just put things everywhere. This is situation. Also, you know, like it's a thing that happens when one of the chairs is empty. It's hilarious. Whack those in there. Happy birthday, Merry Christmas to me, all of this stuff. Yeah, I have hunks of wood, but they're hunks of wood with slats cut in them, which is fun. So you can, I've just stacked away all the stuff, but you can have it sitting up, so you can see it all. It's good with cards and those map pieces and stuff, the map packs, and also any of those paper doohickeys. So instead of being like, oh, where is it in the pile or in the book or whatever, you just have it all sort of arrayed out in front of you. I like visual, being able to know where stuff is at. Tucked in there. They're awkwardly long. I want to cut them down a little bit into smaller chunks, but you know, that's a project for another day. We don't exactly, you know, that would involve getting the saw out. I do it from back there. Still want to do that idea. Ideas, yo. Notes. Yep, there we go. Gotta clear off the scratch pad, because just... What I think I'm gonna have is that, like, maybe this is where the stuff that's in the future goes, and this is the stuff that's in the past. Might be a helpful way of what have you. Can we tuck this all in here and then peg it all together? Again with these mini ball clips. They're great. like pages in here, which is like nonsense goblin stuff, shouting at people. Not that it's necessarily much. I think it just pays to kind of keep things so that when you are inevitably returning to something, you can be like, what the heck were we? What happened there? Oh. Retrace your thoughts. Stack it. And scratch pad is clear. Should think about it. It's on the to-do list, I won't forget it. And I think that starts up to date. Did I just type out new ones? I'm gonna go on my laptop, see if I did anything other different than that. But seems we're gonna go on part 4, yo. You know, I might like speed some of these up or what have you, you know, like crop them a bit. But this is the reality of trying to organize yourself, you know? More dice over here. Unstoppable Fiend. Gotta try and keep yourself in order. Jump in the documents. Actually, I should jump in the chat. And go back from there. Good old Facebook. I just love that sweet, sweet typing sound. No, I'd imagine that my background music is probably the more interesting, hopefully. It's something I put together for what was a very special little adventure, and yeah, so I put together like an 8-minute suite of music because I love this game, and I knew someone who also loved this game, and just wanted to make something really special for that person before they, you know, weren't playing with us anymore, you know? Did I give you everything? February. Saturday's being, yep. So. So there's a current. Excellent. So I have to get my life in order. Isn't that wonderful? So, where my pen at? Where my pen at? I think I actually remember offhand that I was gonna do. Just look at my goblins for a second. Actually, it's on here. 6, cool, sweet. Again, Monster Manual, right. Ugh. How graceful. I need my phone. Bouncing around, that happens. Hope anyone knows where I make notes about stuff. Okay. There's a relevant for this particular one. Relevant for this particular one. It's quest stuff. Cool. So we're gonna have stack this way. The way I said I was gonna stack it. Look at that. Table been messy for the whole week, and now I'm tidying it, and I'm gonna make it messy again. I mean, obviously I tidied away the various cups and junk food and what have. Still at 58. For not turning up. Don't matter if I write that guy because he wasn't there. And then we have actually then it's now I've suddenly lost the ability to do basic math. Which is hilarious because that's most of what this game is. I'm very tired. It's very hot. Yeah. Cool. I don't like to take a bit back from that forward if you're doing badly. Yup, sweet as. Now we're sticky. Turn this page. It's a classic case of I've just gotten some cool stuff and I'm kind of afraid of just using it. So I'm using sticky notes until I warm up to the idea of this notebook paper stuff. And it looks awesome. dates on these actually. And now we send it to the crew, and then it's all away. Aside from the rest of my regular junk, but like then all my D&D stuff's away. Even though I'm gonna pull it out tomorrow. But you know, this is the time that it takes. Time that nobody tells you about. To be honest, I didn't do it with much haste, and I was a bit all over the place. But again, it's very hot, and you know, that's what it's like. That's how it be. Enjoy your lives. Play D&D. Drink some tea. I'm gonna have some tea. Of the iced variety. Bye.